Hi guys, it's Miss Russell and I'm going to show you our project for the week. We are working on a scarecrow, but first we're going to design the clothing. The clothing, we're going to add something called texture. Let's think, texture. What does that mean? Well, texture is how something feels to the touch. So this is a ceramic and it's really smooth to the touch. It's kind of like glass. But then here I have this texture plate and it's got bubbles on it. And when I feel it, it's rough to the touch. So texture, we're going to create texture on the scarecrow before we actually cut it all up to make the clothing. I'm going to give you 3 pieces of paper, but this paper is kind of different. It's out of an old book. We're going to add texture to these pieces of paper, but first we need to write our name on the back. So I want you to turn each piece over and I want you to write your name. So if I write my name, but I have to do it to all 3 pieces because they're all different. So 3 pieces of our old book, but then I'm also going to give you a piece of colored paper. We'll set this one and also write our name on the back. That's 4 times you have to write your name. Now turn it over so you cannot see your name. And we're going to use these texture plates. So I said this one, it's kind of like bubbles. But then I have this one over here. It's got little flowers on it. To use them, I'm going to start with my old book. I'm going to put it on top of my texture plate. I'm going to take crayons that have been peeled, and if I hold my paper and I rub, I can switch colors. It's kind of like what we did on our last project where we did a crayon rubbing, but this time we're doing it with texture. And I can even switch what kind of texture I'm using. So maybe I'll put this one back and maybe I'll choose this next one. It's got all these diamonds on it. And I'm gonna fill my paper up with all different kinds of colors and texture. I want you to do that to all 3 pieces of your old book. And then I also want you to do it to your colored paper. Once again, make sure you can't see your name. Maybe this time I'll use the texture that looks like a tree. I'll put it down. I like to switch colors and mix them together. Then I also like to mix my textures up. So this one here that I'm going to try, it's actually just got different lines on it. It's like cardboard. So play with that. Fill your paper up with all the different textures. When you're done, we're just going to draw on our colored paper today, and we're going to draw right on top of our textures. This is going to be the head of our scarecrow, not the hat. We'll make the hat later. See, I've got my hat for my scarecrow over here, but I'll use that later. I'm going to start by drawing a circle on top of my texture, the biggest circle I can. This is the head of my scarecrow. You look at this guy here. I'm not going to add the hair or anything like that because I'll do that later. But I will add some eyes. And scarecrows, they were made out of old clothing and stuff like that. So when I add mine, I'm actually going to try and make it look like it's a button. So I take it and I kind of add some little dots. I don't know if I can on top of that color. If I find one that's dark enough, I could add some dots on top to show where my sewing hole is. And then here, I'll fill this guy in too. You could do anything you want to your scarecrow, right? And maybe the mouth. I'm gonna do a wavy mouth. You could add more if you wanted to add eyebrows or anything else. Next week, we're gonna cut our scarecrow's face out. And then we'll use our other papers and we'll make him or her a hat and the rest of their clothing. So use your texture plates, fill up your papers, and design your scarecrow's face.